Happy New Year! Here it is, January the 8th, 2015. Coming up on the first anniversary of my cutting of the first wood for the boat. And we've had some, shall we say, issues along the way. Some of my own doing and some not. But nonetheless, here we are. And I didn't get much done during the month of December, as you might suspect, with all of the social obligations and going to spend a couple of weeks to see grandkids and all that fun stuff. And it really was fun. I'm back to work again. During December, whatever time I did come out and work on this thing, I was working on bevels for the stems and the frames and the bottom, taking battens and trying them out and shaving and angles and watching for, you know, putting skinny battens on there, watching how they lie all the way around so that I feel like we've got a good fit. The bottom bevel is the one that's been the most troubling for me, but and how it comes in at this juncture to give you a flat seat all the way down, and you know, it's been a real trial deal using 8-foot wide battens, which is, I mean, yeah, 8 foot long by 11-inch wide battens, and clamping them in place, turning on a bright light underneath, going around the other side, looking for gaps and holes, marking them, coming back out, shaving a little bit, as you can see on the floor, that sort of thing, and getting them down. And I'm pleased to say now that I've spliced 2 of the 8-foot long pieces together, as you can see, to give me a better feel for how the whole thing's going to fit, and also get an idea, since I now know that I have to make the garboard plank and its mates down to this junction. I need to, as you can see, I can't, with an 11-inch wide plank, this is where it dives down below the bottom here, and I can't use a plank any wider than that. This is located here at the bottom location of the first of 3 planks that go along this plane here. And I've equally divided it into approximately 6-inch planks at this location, and the number 1 frames are my starting point for setting this plank, and wherever it lies elsewhere after it's clamped down is what you see. That's how it would ride on the boat if that's all I use. But so the idea here, as I've said in earlier discussions, that I've got to put a scarf joint, and I've got markings here, starting right where this plank is going to dive down below the bottom of the bottom board. I have to have contact at that location, so I've moved it a little bit in away from that juncture so that I've got some leeway, and mark the angle. What I did here is all I did was I've taken the batten, the skinny batten here, and clamped it at the ends where I've got marked on the stems at both ends, and see how it lies across all of this stuff, because I've actually moved this plank down a 1/2 inch below the mark I made for the plank at this location, because as you can see, the plank is going to curve in here, and I'm not sure how much, but I've got some cushion room in here. The bottom of this batten is where that plank is going to, the cut on that plank is going to be along the bottom edge of this batten, and everything below that is going to be scrap, of course, and everything above it, above the bottom board, is going to be scrap. So then I've got to make the end planks, which will sit at a 5-degree angle and go this way, and still stay within 11 inches And you can take this thing right at this location, for example, here, and that's 10 inches from here. Well, if you go from here to here, it's 10.5 inches to there. It means I'm gonna have a 1/2 inch of excess above this joint here for the plank that's at 5 degrees. And I mean, let's see how I've got that. I did some earlier cuts on this stuff, and so that you get an idea. This is one of the actual boards, and like I said, I've marked it on this end as well as the other end where the scarf joint's going to have to go. So I'm going to need a scarf joint at each end, and if I put this plank in here at this angle, you can see that it will, and keep it above the bottom of the batten, that skinny batten. You know, I can clear the bottom plank here, and then I'll have to cut off the excess above this location. But you know, it will join with the centerpiece. So I now have the measurements I need from this side of the scarf joint in the center board to this side of the scarf joint on the center board is 7 foot 2 inches. And from this side of the scarf joint on the bow side board is 5 foot 2 inches to where that intersection is with the stem down there. So I have a 5 foot 2 section and a 7 foot 2 section to cut up and put these scarves. As you can see, I've been doing my homework on this thing, and I've got what I consider to be a fairly good. I put a flat surface on all of this to make sure I don't have any valleys and hills to deal with when I put them together. It's each one of the scarf joints I'm estimating is going to be about an hour of planing and fine tuning, maybe an hour and a half depending, and then that's just to do all of the preparation of getting the bevels made. And then of course the epoxy and the clamping and all of that, and the proper alignment of them is the other side. And I have to be very careful about how I align it on that angle, because just a slight little twist and I can either miss the bottom of this board, of this batten, or I can miss the top here, which either case wouldn't be a very good thing to have happen. But these are issues that you just have to pay attention to. And but other than that, it's coming along. One of my New Year's resolutions was to get back into it, and I'm at the moment I'm starting off putting about 4 or 5 hours a day into it, and as I get a little bit further, the main reason I'm doing it 4 or 5 hours a day is I actually go back inside and I start reading more about the beveling process for the planks themselves, and looking at the drawings again and making sure I understand all the details that Gardner's talking about. But I am pleased to know that all of these, where you see this plank sitting across these frames, it sits pretty flat and doesn't show any signs of having any gaps or anything like that. So, and it has a bow in here. That's just because I've got this splice in here. But that we can, make that go away with these Viking clamps. Call them Viking clothespins or Norwegian clothespins or something like that. But and I've also spent the first couple of days since we got back from the holidays taking my planes apart putting the blades back, sharpening back up again, and getting ready for the new year. So we'll be getting back into it quite a bit, and just more to come. I probably, my plan is to do the port side garboard plank first, and then of course the starboard side, and then the port side, this plank, and the starboard side, etc., all the way down. And I'm hoping that probably maybe by, cross my fingers, say late April, I should have the boat ready to flip. That's what I'd be shooting for. We'll see how good I get at this. More to come.